Hulk Hogan is sports entertainment.
TMZ is reporting wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died at 71 years old.
I just love the business. There's nothing else like it. It's just magic.
It's something that's in your spirit. It's something that you can never lose.
When the FBI unexpectedly showed up at Hulk Hogan's Florida mansion, no one could have predicted the storm it would unleash. Far from the world of wrestling rings and roaring crowds, agents zeroed in on Hogan's private home gym, and what they found inside has left both fans and authorities stunned. What began as a standard inquiry quickly spiraled into something far more bizarre, raising eyebrows across the country. The discovery not only challenges everything people thought they knew about the wrestling icon, but it may also hint at a much deeper story waiting to unfold. What exactly did the FBI find? Join us as we reveal what was uncovered. What really happened to Hulk Hogan? A wrestling legend's final mystery. On the morning of July 24, 2025, something happened that shook the entire world of sports entertainment. Hulk Hogan, real name Terry Gene Bollea, was found dead in his Clearwater, Florida mansion. He was 71 years old. Most people remember him for his signature mustache, red and yellow bandana.
More insight into Hulk Hogan's death has come to light, nearly a week after the former pro wrestling star died at age 71 at his home in Clearwater, Florida.
And larger-than-life attitude. Hogan wasn't just a wrestler, he was a cultural icon, a household name for over 4 decades. But while the world mourned, something strange was already unfolding behind the scenes. According to early reports, Hogan's son, Nick, stopped by the mansion just to check on his dad. Hulk's wife, Sky Daly, was away on a short wellness retreat, and it had been a few days since anyone had heard directly from the wrestling legend. What Nick found would haunt him forever. Hulk Hogan, lying unresponsive on the floor of his home gym. But what exactly was the cause of Hulk Hogan's death? Keep watching to find out more. At first, it looked like a tragic natural death. Hogan was older, and he had gone through years of intense physical strain during his wrestling career. A heart attack or stroke wouldn't have surprised many. Paramedics tried everything they could, but by 11:17 a.m., he was gone. Then things started to get weird. The home gym where Hogan was found was almost too perfect. The floor was spotless, nothing was out of place. For someone known to hit the weights daily, that didn't make sense. It didn't feel like a gym, it felt like a staged room. Even more unsettling was what the FBI discovered soon after. Hulk Hogan's home security system, a state-of-the-art setup with cameras, alarms, and sensors, had been fully turned off. Not hacked, not malfunctioning. It had been switched off manually from inside the house. That sent a clear message to investigators. This wasn't just a random death. Someone had possibly wanted Hogan dead, and they knew exactly how to do it without leaving a trace. They began looking through every detail of Hogan's digital life: phone calls, internet searches, smart home activity, encrypted chats. They were trying to piece together what had happened in the hours, and even days, before Hogan's death. Then came something even more chilling. Nick Hogan told agents that just a day before he died, his father had received a strange phone call. Whatever was said during that call visibly shook Hogan. The FBI traced the call, only to find it was routed through foreign servers. That made it nearly impossible to track who was behind it. Was it a threat? Was Hogan being warned? Or was that call the reason someone made sure he wouldn't live to tell the story? The truth remains unclear, but one thing is certain. The case is no longer being treated as a simple death.
The Clearwater Police Department is conducting a death investigation. There are no signs of foul play or suspicious activity.
It's now a full-blown homicide investigation. Forensics experts are waiting for autopsy and toxicology results, hoping they'll uncover something that the eye couldn't see. Meanwhile, fans around the world are left stunned. How could someone so powerful, so full of life end up like this, alone in a cold gym, surrounded by silence and suspicion? As the FBI keeps digging, People are beginning to wonder if Hogan was hiding something. Was he involved in something risky of which he knew too much of? Or did someone from his past come back to settle an old score? The man who once told fans to train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins
Saying your prayers and eating your vitamins is definitely the right way to live.
may have taken his darkest secrets to the grave. And while tributes continue to pour in, one question remains on everyone's lips. Who or what was Hulk Hogan running from in the final hours of his life? Only time will tell. But for now, all we can do is wait and watch. To understand how bizarre his death is, let's talk about who exactly Hulk Hogan is, and how this famous wrestler went through high-profile marriages to public heartbreaks. Despite being known for strength and charisma, Hulk Hogan also faced real struggles when it came to love and family. Stay tuned to find out more. Hulk Hogan's life, the real drama behind the wrestling icon. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a name, he was a whole era. If you grew up watching wrestling in the 80s or 90s, chances are you remember the red and yellow outfits, the wild energy, and of course, the unforgettable catchphrases like, "What you gonna do, brother?" But behind the fame, muscles, and spotlight was a man whose personal life told a story far more complicated than any wrestling storyline. From messy relationships and scandals to public backlash over racism, Hulk Hogan's life outside the ring was filled with drama that often felt just as intense as what happened inside it. Let's rewind to the early days. In 1983, Hogan married Linda Claridge, a woman who became more than just his wife. She became the mother of his two children, Brooke and Nick. Their family would later become well known, not just because of Hulk's fame, but also due to their reality TV show, Hogan Knows Best. If you remember that show, it painted a picture of a tight-knit, glamorous, all-American family. They had it all: big cars, big houses, and even bigger personalities. But, like many reality shows, what we saw on screen didn't tell the whole truth. In 2007, just when Hogan Knows Best was still running, things started to fall apart. A woman named Christiane Plant came forward and claimed she had an affair with Hulk while working on Brooke's music album. The news hit hard. Fans were shocked, the media went wild, and the family-friendly image the Hogans had built began to crumble. That same year, Linda filed for divorce.
In 2008, Linda's publicist, Gary Smith, told E! News that she filed papers after she found out Hulk had an affair with Christiane Plant.
By 2008, she confirmed that the reason she left Hulk was because of the alleged affair. Hogan denied ever cheating, saying in his book that Linda often accused him of things that weren't true. But whether or not the affair really happened, the marriage was over, and it ended badly. Linda reportedly walked away with 70% of their liquid assets. That's around $10 million. But even more painful than the money was the emotional toll. Hogan later shared that the divorce sent him into a deep depression. He even thought about ending his life. It was Layla Ali, his co-star from American Gladiators, who helped pull him through. According to him, her support during that time helped him find hope again. Just as he began to pick up the pieces, Hogan met someone new, Jennifer McDaniel. Their relationship moved fast. They got engaged in 2009 and married a year later in a private ceremony in Clearwater, Florida. For over 10 years, they seemed happy. But once again, the fairy tale didn't last. In early 2022, Hogan announced on Twitter that he and Jennifer had divorced.
The former WWE star took to Twitter to announce that after 11 years of marriage, he and Jennifer McDaniel have gone their separate ways.
Fans were surprised. Many didn't even know they had split. But Hogan didn't stay single for long. By July 2023, he had already found love again, this time with a yoga instructor named Sky Daly. He proposed at the wedding reception of actor Corin Nemec, and by September 2023, the two were married. It was his third marriage. Some people cheered for him, glad to see the aging wrestler find happiness again. Others wondered if this was just another chapter in a story that always seemed to repeat itself. And let's not forget the darker side of Hogan's story, the one that truly made him fall from grace in the eyes of many fans. In 2015, a private video was leaked, and it included Hogan using multiple racist slurs while ranting about his daughter Brooke dating a black man. The language was shocking, hurtful, and downright ugly. It didn't take long for the fallout to hit. WWE terminated their contract with Hogan almost immediately. He was removed from their Hall of Fame page, merchandise was pulled, and fans were divided. For someone who had built a career as a hero to kids and families, the video was a massive blow to his reputation. Hogan later apologized, saying that the comments were made during a low point in his life. He said he wasn't a racist, just someone who had made a terrible mistake, but for many people, the damage was done. Words matter, and these were words that people couldn't forget. His attempt at a comeback in WWE years later was met with mixed reactions. Some welcomed him back, believing in second chances. Others didn't want to see him again. So when Hulk Hogan passed away in July 2025, the grief that followed wasn't simple. Yes, the world mourned a wrestling legend, but they also remembered the controversies, the scandals, the broken relationships, and the racism. His death wasn't just the end of a wrestler's life, it was the final page in a story filled with fame, fortune, and flaws. At the time of his death, Hogan was married to Sky Daly. She wasn't Nick Hogan's mother. That role belonged to Linda, his first wife. The family structure had changed a lot over the years, and now people are left looking back and asking questions. Who was the real Hulk Hogan? The superhero in the ring or the flawed father? The man who kept getting second chances? It's hard to say. Maybe he was all those things. Maybe that's what made him such a fascinating, frustrating, unforgettable figure. Because love him or hate him, one thing's for sure. Hulk Hogan's life wasn't just about wrestling. It was about rising, falling, and always standing back up again, even when the spotlight wasn't so kind anymore. With the sudden announcement of his death, fans are asking many questions and are curious about one thing. What exactly killed Hulk Hogan? Stay tuned to find out more. Hulk Hogan's cause of death. When news broke that Hulk Hogan had died, it felt like the air had been sucked out of the room for many fans around the world. He wasn't just a wrestling star, he was a wrestling star. A legend, a larger-than-life figure.
He was the most iconic and intimidating wrestler in WWE history.
So naturally, people wanted answers. What happened? Was he sick, or was there an accident? The questions came fast, and the rumors came even faster. In the days before his death, there had already been whispers online about Hogan's health. Fans noticed he hadn't made any public appearances since May, and for someone as outgoing and active as he'd always been, that raised some red flags. Social media started buzzing. Some people asked if he was seriously ill, others feared the worst. Was he already in a coma? Or was he secretly dying? That's when his wife, Sky Daly, stepped in. She had seen the rumors, read the wild comments, and decided enough was enough. So, like many do these days, she turned to Instagram to clear the air. In her Instagram story, she firmly denied everything the internet had been spinning. "No, he's definitely not in a coma," she wrote. "His heart is strong, and there was never any lack of oxygen or brain damage." Her words were simple, but they were powerful. Coming from the person closest to him, fans were relieved to finally hear the truth. But where did these rumors even come from in the first place? It all seemed to kick off when a well-known radio host, Bubba the Love Sponge, real name Todd Clem, made a bold and scary claim. He said Hogan had been hospitalized with a serious medical issue and that the family had been called in to say goodbye. You can imagine the kind of panic that caused. Within hours, the news was everywhere. Blogs, tweets, fan pages, you name it. Suddenly, people weren't just worried. They were heartbroken. Hogan wasn't just another celebrity. For many, he was a part of their childhood. He was the guy who told you to eat your vitamins and believe in yourself. Seeing him in a hospital bed, struggling to stay alive, just didn't fit the image fans had in their heads. Thankfully, Hogan's reps stepped forward soon after. They spoke to TMZ and confirmed that, yes, Hogan had been in the hospital. But it wasn't nearly as dramatic as the rumors made it seem. He wasn't on his deathbed. He wasn't slipping away. The truth was, more down to earth, he was receiving treatment for ongoing issues with his neck and back. Let's not forget, Hulk Hogan spent decades throwing people around in the ring. That kind of physical toll doesn't go unnoticed. Years of body slams, leg drops, and steel cage matches had left his body worn out. Neck and back pain had been part of his life for years, and it made sense that he needed some serious care. But being in the hospital for treatment isn't the same as being at death's door, and that's what Sky and his reps wanted the world to understand. Sky's statement gave fans a moment to breathe. She reminded everyone that while Hogan had physical issues you'd expect after a wrestling career like his heart was strong. He wasn't dying. He was fighting, just like he always had. The entire situation showed how fast things can spin out of control on the internet. One comment from one person can cause a storm of panic. It's a reminder to always wait for the full story before jumping to conclusions. Sadly, even though those rumors were shut down just days before, Hogan's death still came, suddenly and unexpectedly. But up until his final days, he wasn't seen as weak or helpless. He was still the fighter, the warrior, the man millions looked up to. While his death came as a shock to the world, one thing is sure: his legacy will forever live after him. Let's talk about this legacy in more detail. Stay tuned. Hulk Hogan's legacy lives on. To talk about Hulk Hogan is to talk about more than wrestling. He was never just a wrestler. Hulk Hogan was an era, a movement, a household name. For millions of fans around the world, he was the face of professional wrestling. But even more than that, he was a symbol of power, energy, and the never-give-up spirit. From the moment he burst onto the scene with his yellow headband, handlebar mustache, and unmatched charisma, Hogan became a living icon. Who could forget that moment at WrestleMania 3 when he body-slammed the giant Andre the Giant in front of over 93,000 screaming fans? That wasn't just a wrestling move, it was history in the making. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Whether he was playing the all-American hero in red and yellow or turning heel as Hollywood Hogan, one thing was always true. People couldn't take their eyes off him. You either loved him or loved to hate him, but you never ignored him. And it didn't stop in the ring. Hogan took his larger-than-life persona to Hollywood. He acted in movies, appeared on TV shows, and even starred in reality TV with his family. Wherever he went, cameras followed. His name echoed through living rooms, locker rooms, and arenas alike. Hulk Hogan became more than a man. He became a brand, a symbol, a part of pop culture. For kids growing up in the 80s and 90s, he was a hero. They'd tear off their shirts, flex in front of the mirror, and shout, "Hulkamania," like it was a battle cry. Hogan wasn't just a wrestler, they believed in him. He told them to train, say their prayers, eat their vitamins, and believe in themselves. And they listened. But now, the world is mourning. Hulk Hogan has passed away, and as fans everywhere share their favorite moments and say their goodbyes.
Now to the death of wrestling icon Hulk Hogan, who rocketed to fame in the 1980s, in the ring transforming the wrestling industry.
One thing is clear: his legacy is powerful, unforgettable, eternal. Still, his sudden death left people with questions. Was it health-related? Was there more to the story? Reports of a strange phone call, malfunctioning security cameras, and an oddly tidy gym have sparked whispers. Investigations are ongoing, toxicology reports are pending, and the world waits for answers. But while mystery lingers around his final moments, the one thing that doesn't need any explanation is the impact he had. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson called him a game-changer. Fellow wrestlers have credited Hogan with building the very foundation of modern WWE. Fans have taken over social media with tributes, memories, and emotional messages. And in Clearwater, Florida, where Hogan lived, Artists are painting murals in his honor. One shows him pointing to the sky with those famous words underneath, "What you gonna do, brother?" Even in grief, the world is celebrating his life. Hogan wasn't perfect. He faced scandals, backlash, and personal struggles. But through it all, he always came back. He was knocked down many times, but he got back up. Stronger, louder, more determined. That's what made him special. He lifted weights, sure, but more than that, he lifted people. He gave them hope. He made them believe they could overcome anything. That's why his story isn't just about wrestling. It's about fighting for what you believe in, about standing tall, even when things get tough, and about rising again and again, no matter how hard the fall. So as we say goodbye to the man behind the mustache, we remember the legend. Hulk Hogan may be gone, but Hulkamania? That lives forever. What legacy of Hulk Hogan's do you remember him for? Let us know your opinions in the comment section below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen, you will enjoy it.